All right, it's Tuesday, January 2nd. This is a end of the day SPY recap, first day of the year. We ended up today to start off the year with a 2 down daily bar that closed a bit neutral, even green, so we're kind of above the open, and that sets up an actionable signal tomorrow if we get a 2 up bar. So we'll kind of look at the pre-market range and how price opens and see if we head higher. Should we head higher here, then we want to see if this weekly chart, which just started today, ends up moving up to the halfway point of the prior week. That could then forecast kind of an outside week to the upside in line with our monthly chart that's green, and we expect to eventually at some point test higher. Maybe it's starting to do that early, but it is possible, we start below the midpoint of today on our 2 down on our 2 down week, and we continue lower towards these targets down here. So everything's going to be based on tomorrow's price action. And we have now the purple line, which is the open of the year, the month, the week, everything. And we want to see on this purple line, I'm looking at the 15-minute chart now. Here's the open. We want to see if price stays above or below that. If we can get a 2 up, getting above the high of today, and continue higher, then all context is to the upside. If we head lower with a 2 down, then our weekly chart is kind of in line to start testing these kind of lows, and we stay below that line. So that becomes the reference point for a long time now, in terms of the rest of the year almost, but it's for now, it's just a short-term daily kind of reference point. So we'll see how it goes. In terms of actual trading today, everything gapped down. You can see here the big pre-market range. And it was a little tricky in terms of the SPY, although it wasn't really tricky in terms of other indexes. We did start lower here, and once we, took out bar number one's low, we were just going down to take out that pre-market low with high probability, but then immediately bounced up. It kind of held in here. It made another test down. It again took out that intraday low and then bounced again. So any shorts in here that you would have taken on the SPY, I think you had to exit here. Maybe a small loss, but other indexes, for example, like the QQQs and other stocks, would definitely had the downward bias, right out of the gates, and then a orderly pullback and a second push down. So, and there were a lot of stocks that did that. Now, there were also a lot of stocks like the healthcare stocks, if I look at them, AbbVie and Moderna, that were up strong. So that's why the SPY as a more broader index was kind of mixed a little bit and actually had to move up. But you were below the midpoint of the prior day all session long, so there was no real up bias, even when the intraday chart for a moment, got above the first bar high. To me, once it made its orderly pullback here and then couldn't make a run up to test that high again, this red bar here was a pretty high probability sign, and going below the open, that you were going to test those lows again. So there was a little bit of, if you kind of were just only trading the SPY and you got chopped up in this area, this was a decent little trade here for an hour to take out those lows. But then, the last bar of the day really moved up strongly, and that sets up our actionable signal to the upside tomorrow. So we have all kinds of reference points here. Our bias is still a big picture to the upside. This is kind of a 2 up, signal. That it's almost like a failure type of thing where we take the 2 down week and can't reach our target, and right on Tuesday or in this case Wednesday, we start up again and maybe get to the halfway point. That'll be the key level to monitor for if should we head up. Do we get above that? And that would kind of forecast maybe we're making new monthly highs. So we'll see if that unfolds. But first day of the week, we did have a lot of stocks that moved down a lot, especially the tech stocks. Other sectors were up, and the SPY itself is kind of neutral here. So we will see kind of how this kicks off the year and where things go tomorrow, up or down. We'll let price action lead the way.